people, we are back with another episode of Debates Never Die. I'm joined by my colleagues Khanya and Rindai. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Nah, mate, I'm good. I'm good. Arsenal have conquered their demons after beating Newcastle after what they did to us last year. I'm happy. I'm happy. We're still in the title race. Not in the position we want to be in, but I'm good, bro.
Ree, it's been a while since we had you on the pod, bro. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I've just been a bit busy, but I'm good. Happy with the Arsenal win yesterday. Madrid got a trophy Saturday, so I'm good.
It's good to be Ree. It's good to be Ree again. Gents, a pretty big weekend across Europe in terms of just like football results, movement in the leagues. We'll start in the Premier League with I'd say a pretty good weekend for some and a pretty bad weekend for others. Obviously, we'll touch on the result that you guys both mentioned. Arsenal going away and getting a very impressive win away at Newcastle. I personally was very impressed. Like I was almost happy Arsenal won. I also realized that I actually don't like Newcastle, but I want to get like an Arsenal point of view. How are you guys feeling before the game, and what do you make of the performance? And like Khanya said, I'll start with you, Khanya. You said you're still in the title race. So what do you make of yesterday's performance?
It's the type of performance we should have been putting in against fucking Southampton. It's the type of performance we've been put in against West Ham, and we did to a certain extent until we threw it away. Like we weathered the storm of the first 10 minutes. Where to answer the first question you posed, how did I feel going into that game? I was nervous. Like if you asked me like about a month ago, I looked at that game and thought we probably go there and drop points, especially because of the way they handled you guys when you guys went there, how they beat Chelsea. When City played there, they were lucky to draw that game as well. So I thought, that's a serious game. That's not a game that is by any means light work or anything. So the fact that we handled them after the first 10 minutes where they almost had a penalty, they hit the post, it showed a lot of character. It's one of the better performances I've seen us put in a very, very long time.
Facts. Rindai, Khanya made a very good point there about the performance that you guys should have had against Southampton, arguably against West Ham. How does it make you feel? Like, are you frustrated knowing that you guys are still good enough to obviously not compete, but not comfortably, but you can beat Newcastle, you can go away and get a big result away from home. How does that make you reflect on the drop points against Southampton and West Ham?
Yeah, obviously, dropping points against Southampton and West Ham was annoying, but like I knew yesterday's game was kind of like a must-win game. I'm more on the fence about the title race right now. Like, I don't see City dropping 4 points. Like, it's a long shot, right? But at the same time, there's 3 games left. We've got 81 points. If we win all our games, we finish with 90 points. If City win the league, I won't be too mad about that. So I feel like I'm okay with us losing the league as long as we, win our remaining games. Obviously, we should have won against West Ham and all that, but like at least the boys showed character, especially after that loss to City.
I'm gonna go a bit on the offensive here and like maybe poke the bear a bit. But doesn't that, as much as you say you're gonna be okay with it, doesn't that hurt a bit, given the fact that the lead was so long ago? And like even if you won the game against Southampton and West Ham and then lost to City, like you'd still be in a good position. So won't it kind of like a 90-point season and you don't win the league? That's gotta hurt, surely. Like, be honest.
Mate, it fucking stings. It's trash. No one is happy with what happened. I still think it's absolutely ridiculous that we let that lead slip against West Ham. That for me is really the game where it's like, dude, that you can't, those things can't happen to you if you're a serious team. Like at that point in the season, the way we let them back in the game, like that's not meant to be normal. You miss a penalty, you give one away needlessly. Like what we did was genuinely like deplorable. Every single Arsenal player should be ashamed of themselves what they did there, right? So that doesn't change. And if you get to 90 points and you still lose, it's frustrating. But again, there's so many different ways in which to be okay with this. You need to contextualize the season. Start of the season, first 3 months, we're telling everyone else we're contenders. No one believes you, right? By Jan, we're finally taken seriously. And by the time it's time to really show it, we stop competing. All at the same time when holding sets to the side as well. But that's a different conversation. So no, you're right. It is still frustrating. It's not going to be a situation where in like a few years' time we're like, no man, it was fine. We know we got 90. City were just so good. No, there'll always be a point of frustration. But we have to live in the now. As it stands, I'm happy for us to be chasing. If we're gonna lose the league at this point in time, all I want is that we lose it properly. Win every single game from now to the end of the season. And if we don't win it in that scenario, fair enough.
That okay, I can accept that. I don't want to play contrarian too much, but I think let's close on Arsenal. I want to ask Rindai a question. A 90-point season, like you said, that's phenomenal. I don't have off the top of my head how many points you guys got last season, but this is easily one of the biggest swings in terms of points difference in the league, surely, from you guys going fifth to a 90-point season. My question is, how much faith do you have in kind of the state that Arsenal are in right now, your recruitment? Because there's a lot of talk about how, if you guys didn't win the league this year, it'll be a long time before you get the chance again. What do you make of that? Like, do you think you guys can come back and do another 90-point season? Do you think other Oaks are going to strengthen? Like, what's your gut telling you right now?
Yeah, for me personally, my gut is telling me it's going to be tough to be in this position again. Like I said, it's hard to get to this stage of the Premier League and still be in contention. Like it takes me back to Liverpool was it 13-14, the start of the season, right? Where like Liverpool fumbled, and obviously after that they got Klopp and whatever, but it still took them a while. Obviously, our situation is different because we've got younger players and whatnot. But City is going to continue getting better. You feel me? So I think it's going to be tough because I see City having another 90-point season next season. So in order for us to win the league, we're going to have to be even better, much better actually than we were this season, in my opinion.
And whether that's possible or not, I'll leave that to the listeners to decide. But I think the other side of the result is Newcastle losing 2-0 and staying within touching distance of, the chasing pack. I've had feelings. My feelings about Newcastle have been clear for a very long time. You guys know what I said when the takeover happened. You guys know what I said when they went through that little dry spell. I don't want to call them a lie. I don't think they're a lie. I don't even want to say overrated. But are they that good is my question. I don't think you're third in the Premier League after 34 games and not good. But like I said in the group yesterday, I don't see them, like you qualify for the Champions League. And I said it yesterday, like Guimaraes, Joe Linton and Willock is not a Champions League midfield. Nick Pope is not going to, he's not going to be the reason you get out of the Champions League group stage. When, when a team from Italy or a team from France come through, or even no, send Newcastle away on a trip in Europe. Like, are those the guys that are going to get you in the Champions League? So what do you guys make of them? Was that kind of a humbling? Did they find their level? What do we make of them? Are they the real deal or not? I'll start with you, Khanya.
So I think they've been fortunate this season in that both Chelsea and Liverpool fell off the way they did. I don't think that top four places there because they are truly the fourth best side or the third best side in England. They've been impressive. They have done all they've needed to do. They've looked at their games. They've beaten everyone they needed to beat. So they've had a very, very good campaign. Like there's just a ceiling. Like I think that they are very easily upgradable options in that team. I don't think that right now they need to be the fourth best side. At the start of the season, their goal is probably to make top six, like come and fight against like Spurs and like maybe, try unsettle one of like a team like Spurs or a team like West Ham. Start of the season, those teams have done it to themselves. So there's been room for them. There's been room for them, and I think that what's going to be more challenging for them is how they upgrade and what they do and how they make sure that the players that they get fit what they're trying to do long term. But they definitely aren't the finished article or like close to it. What happened yesterday, and even at the Emirates, the serious sides are still quite a way better than them.
Rindai, Real Madrid and Newcastle in the same group in the Champions League. What's happening next season? Do you believe? Can they hold their weight there?
Nah, definitely not, bro. Like I agree with Khanya. Like they definitely aren't like when they do get into the Champions League, because I do believe they're going to get into the Champions League. I don't see them doing much. I personally see Liverpool sneaking into top 4, but I guess we're going to touch on that in a bit.
I mean, we can touch on it right now because to talk about the top 4 means we have to talk about the horror show, the back-to-back horror shows for Man United. A team struggling for consistency, struggling with their identity, and now struggling to get results. 2 1-0 losses back-to-back, Brighton and West Ham. 2 away losses, now making their away record look really horrendous. I mean, we saw what happened yesterday, and I'm loath to talk about it. But David De Gea again costing United points. But there was a lot of talk on Twitter today about how, not De Gea apologists, but it's wrong to talk about De Gea being the reason United lost that game. Like, United have been playing the same for the last couple of games. We create chances but don't score, and then we concede a goal, and then it's become very easy for teams to hold the lead against us. So I asked a question about Newcastle's level, but I'll ask you guys, because you guys will tell the truth about United. What is United's level in your opinion right now?
I mean, look, I feel biased every time I talk about United, but I think you guys are. I think you guys are. You're a top 4 side for this season, but if you don't improve rapidly and massively next season, I don't think we'll say the same thing in a year's time. You guys need to reinforce very, very seriously. You need a lot of things. Dude, you need a new keeper. You need a new dude. You guys are scary. I think it's sad. It's sad that I have to say it on the pod, but Sheiks is right. Sheiks is right. You guys have been very fortunate, and you are fortunate to be in the position you're currently in. It's been a misrepresentation of your true level. As I think the big wins against the likes of Arsenal and likes of City at Old Trafford might have, papered over the cracks of what's been quite a middling season in terms of consistency. Like as you said, your away record does suggest that there's something seriously wrong. But at the same time, it is your first season under Ten Hag. Expecting this perfect consistency is also a bit harsh. You guys are hard to get a true assessment of. You've got the likes of Sabitzer playing for you right now, Big Horst. You got players who are currently there who aren't United players. So I don't want to be too harsh and say, no, it's a false image. Just that you need to have a very serious window if you plan on being in the top 4 next year.
I'll save my piece for the end. Rindai, you said you fancy Liverpool over United to get in the top 4. Based off the seasons they've had until this point, until we record this episode, who do you think right now deserves it more if the season were to end today?
Who deserves it more? Damn, that's a tough question because I can't.
No, man. What does deserve mean in this context? Just make top 4. Fuck what you deserve. Just win the games.
But I'm saying if United if the season ends today and United in the top 4, there's no issues, right? You guys aren't going to be saying
it's fine because Liverpool busy losing to Nottingham Forest and losing to teams they shouldn't have been losing to.
Yeah, I mean, to answer Tab's question, I would say Liverpool, to be fair, purely because they beat you guys 7-0, bro. I'm sorry to bring that up again, but
no, you're not sorry.
Yeah, but they beat you guys 7-0. But anyway, ever since the Arsenal game, even from the Arsenal game, where Liverpool have been on fire, and yeah, I just really think they're gonna win their remaining games. I don't see United winning all their games. I won't lie. I just don't see that happening. And to answer your initial question, yeah, I agree with Khanya. You guys definitely need a serious window to be taken seriously, bro. Weghorst, I don't know, what the plan was there, bro. I feel like that's a guy who you sign as a backup. You can't sign him and start him, bro. He's not on that level.
That's true. Yeah. Without going on a rant, I do think that in terms of our level, I don't think it's been a season of where we've been that fortunate. I think we've had moments where I do think the first half of the season was representative of our level. I think the wins against Liverpool, Arsenal, the form that we were in, the consistency, that's where we were. But I think that you get exposed when, like, we've had to deal with harsh truths. That's it. I feel like this second half of the season has just been harsh truths. We didn't have the squad to compete in 4 tournaments. We didn't have the squad to maintain the pace with Arsenal and City. We didn't have the quality of player to go and dig out results. And it's just been like a very an inconvenient truth that we've had to deal with. So I don't think that it's a case of like, well, United are way worse than what their league position suggests. I think I agree with you, Khanya. We are a top 4 side. And I think as much as Ten Hag got praise in the first half of the season, he's also now, can come into question for some of his decisions. I saw he got criticized on Twitter for essentially what he's done is trying to compete in 4 tournaments with the same 13 to 14 players, which on his part is not that good. It's a very bad reflection on him. But then my response to that was like, who can he count on? Like the guys, he like there's no one for him to count on, which is again, let's give Malcolm his daps. Like there's no one. We don't go away from home. We don't have anyone who's going to take a game by the scruff of its neck. We don't have the characters. We don't have, and it goes back to the other thing I said about identity. Like if I ask either of you now, what type of side are United right now? Like what type of team?
Counter-attacking side. Counter-attacking side.
Rindai?
Yeah, I don't know what type of team you guys are. I won't even lie.
Exactly. And I think that feeds into like a team that goes away from home. And I said this in the group, and I still need to hash out my point, but it's easy to get these guys playing and winning at home. That's the easy part of his job. But you've seen away from home, we don't know what we want to do. It's so obvious, and then we don't know who to rely on. And it's almost like back to the moments of brilliance football. And it's not sustainable. So I think I'm on my knees, like praying that we just get the wins that we need to get into the top 4. But again, like I'm the one who said this in the past, like what's the point of getting in the top 4 if you're not going to now compete in the Champions League? Like you're going to be in the Champions League just to be there. So yeah, that's my little rant about United. I do think that I think we should get top 4 over Liverpool. And I'm not just saying that. I think Liverpool. Liverpool have been a lot worse than us this season. They've been a lot more inconsistent. They've just found their first bit of good form the whole season now at the end. So for them to steal top 4, I would feel a bit hard done by. But at the same time, like if we fumble, we fumble, and maybe we do deserve it. But yeah, that's my piece on United. I think we'll segue then into.
Wait. Before we do, I must just give a special shout out to my guy David De Gea. I saw that moment with the TV on mute, and I was all the noise that needed to be there. I was so shocked. I actually burst into laughter seeing that, and honestly, I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for that moment. I will never forget that. Truly, if this is his last season at United, I'm grateful that I got to see it.
And you know what? You know the sad thing is. You know what the really sad thing is? It's not his last season at United. That's the sad thing. I can't sit here and tell you that he's wrapped. Even after all that he's done this season, I cannot sit here and be like, yep, his time is up.
That's scary.
I can't. It's frightening.
In an ideal world, let's say you had complete control. Who would replace him? Who's the guy? Who's the keeper? Pickford. Where do you go? Where do you go?
You go into Europe, mate. You go into Europe.
No,
trust the analyst.
Tabsol, imagine you are the director. You are the guy. Who would you have gotten? I don't feel like there is like this super easy solution in any case.
Okay, but you see now, if I'm the director, then I'm going to tell you my number one option, but he's not available financially. We can't get Mike Maignan, right? We can't afford him.
Yeah,
but if we could,
get creative. Get creative. There's a bunch of different players.
I'm pretty sure I can. My guys on Twitter, I can find a few oaks on Twitter who can suggest goalkeepers. But the thing is, and I've said this time and time again, there are always guys. I remember when we got into that huge debate about centre backs. Like remember when Varane signed, and I said I was anti Varane, not because I didn't rate Varane, but because there are other guys. Like you can't tell me that every other Premier League club can find players window after window for not that much money, and we always have to be the ones paying 50, 60, 80, 100 million for players. There has to be guys out there.
Facts.
But to be fair, we don't even know who's going to own the club in a few months. So I don't think now is the time to talk about ideal things.
Just to confirm, you turned down Pickford if you had the chance.
Pickford is not an upgrade over De Gea. He's not.
Wow. Oh wow.
No. Hear me out. I don't think he's a better ball player, right? So he's not going to improve the style of football. He's
Mm-hmm.
marginally less error prone, but he does a lot of dumb shit regularly. You guys know that. A game with 90 minutes does not go by with Pickford not doing at least one thing that makes you question what he's thinking. And that's not a goalkeeper that elevates a team. You don't sign a keeper that does that to elevate yourself. So no. If Pickford, you can give me Pickford for free, I'm not taking him. For free.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm glad you brought up Pickford because we can now segue to what is my favorite topic, because this top four is causing me so much anxiety. What's happening at the bottom of the table? At the time of recording, we've just witnessed Fulham absolutely destroy Leicester, even though the scoreline doesn't suggest it, 5-3. And Everton pull off one of my shocks of the season, absolutely leathering Brighton. A huge win for their survival chances. I know, Khanya, we spoke at length about who we think is going to go down. Any change to your predictions?
No, absolutely none. Leicester are 100% those guys. After what happened to them earlier, I am filled with faith that Dean Smith is taking them down. And
Rindai,
at the time of recording, Nottingham Forest are beating Southampton. So as it
so that's
stands,
one.
Leicester are in 18th position.
Yeah, so I think we all had Southampton in our bottom, and I think this win kind of confirms them. I had Forest as my other team, and if they win here, they go up to what, 16th?
Yeah.
So Rindai, we never had you on that episode. Who right now, if you had to pick three teams that you think are going to, actually two, because I think we all have Southampton there.
I think Leicester are definitely going down.
Really?
Yeah. I agree with Khanya, bro. Because they're playing Liverpool next. Liverpool know they need to win, and I don't see them winning that game. And they're playing Newcastle away, which I don't see them winning that game as well. And I think that'll be enough to, they lost games against West Ham, but I generally see them going down. I think Everton's win a couple hours ago, like, solidifies that personally.
I'm just trying to see here. Everton, I know they play City next. Then they've got Wolves away and Bournemouth at home on the last day. I don't think it's hard. Look, I don't think it's the craziest thing to say Leicester going down after today's results, but something in me I can't put them in my bottom three. You guys know how I feel about the other team that's in the bottom three, Leeds. I hope they go out as sad as possible. I hope they go out with 4 losses back to back after hiring Big Sam. But yeah, let's wait and see what it has in store for us. All we know is that the last couple of games in the Premier League are going to be must-see stuff. But moving away from the Prem to my favorite league this year, Serie A. I know, Khanya, you're a big aficionado there. A big weekend in terms of movement. Obviously, Napoli confirming themselves as champions last week. But the race for a top 4 spot, you could say, is even wider than the Premier League one.
No doubt about it. First of all, a huge shout out to AC Milan, the most inconsistent side in Serie A right now. I don't know how to prepare myself for those games. Midweek against Cremonese they drew, then they step up and beat Lazio, who at the time of the game were in second place, beat them 2-0 without Leao. I really think that top 4 race is some of the most enthralling stuff. From like I think we said in the group as well, from second to fifth, you genuinely don't know who's better than who on a week to week basis. Even performance wise, it's hard to determine who the guys are.
Facts, and I think on Milan, like the inconsistency is remarkable, because you're talking about a side that's in the semi-final of the Champions League, and I know we're going to get to the Champions League just now, but like the fact that you genuinely don't know what you're going to get is ridiculous. But shout out to Serie A. I know we don't show Serie A the love that it deserves week on week, but any mention for you? Obviously, Napoli confirming themselves as champions. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we all knew Napoli was gonna win, so that was dope. Like, first title in 33 years is crazy. Like, when I was reading about that shit, I was actually mad. But just shout out to Lukaku. I hope he bangs in the Champions League as well. But shout out to him. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
It's going to be a very awkward conversation about Lukaku very soon. I know Khanya, I think I know where you stand on what needs to happen with him next. But yeah, you had Lukaku to score in the Champions League, and I think we'll get to that just now. But Inter, actually no, I just want to hear from you guys. Who do you actually back to finish in the top four? Let's just make some predictions. Knowing that Napoli have won the league, essentially like between second and seventh place is literally separated by only 8 points, and a lot of head-to-heads to come. So I just want to hear, Khanya, who have you got in your top four?
Unfortunately, I think the top four stays as it is. It's going to be obviously Napoli top, Juve second, Lazio third, and then Inter in fourth. I don't think it's just from here purely because I feel like if Milan, it's going to sound ridiculous and very childish to say it, but I am slightly superstitious. If Milan beat Inter, and I think they will, I don't see them also making top four. I think they're getting one of those two things. They're going to make the final or they're going to finish in fourth. And I think they're going to get to the final. I think that their league form is going to suffer. They're too inconsistent. I don't trust them week to week right now. And crucially, the second last game of the season that Milan have is against Juve at Juventus Stadium.
So I just want to confirm that's again another year of no Champions League for Roma, right? That Champions League that you promised me 3 years ago, it's still not coming, right?
I can't account for the fact that Dybala's hamstring's blown up, that Velotti played with a fractured rib this weekend. Like so much has happened. So much has happened. But crucially, Roma's still in the Europa League, brother. So if they are playing Champions League football next season, I will be able to say I told you so.
That I'll tell everyone right now won't happen. But Rindai, let's hear your top four after Napoli. Who have you got?
I agree with Khanya. I think it's going to stay the same. I think Inter's win over Roma this weekend was a big one. I think if Roma had won, that would definitely make the top four race more spicy. But yeah, I agree with Khanya. I think Milan are probably going to win in the Champions League. And I don't see them getting top four as well.
Well, for what it's worth, I am going to back my team from Milan to get in the top four, just only because of what Khanya pointed out, is that Inter have lost 11 games this year, and I don't think they're done losing in the league. I think just an ounce of seriousness and a bit of luck can see like Milan scrape into the top four. But I do think Juve have enough to finish second. And then I've got Lazio in third and Milan in fourth. So I think Inter miss out. But we'll see. I could be horribly wrong. I hope I'm not. But moving to a league that is not as entertaining, and perhaps the action actually wasn't in the league this season, La Liga, but Spain in general obviously have a new cup champion, Real Madrid. For those who watched the final, the absolute masterclass from Vini and Rodrigo. Rindai, perfect preparation for the City tie?
Yeah, come on, fam. Come on. I guess, like, it's a good boost in confidence, boys getting a trophy before the game. But yeah, I think we needed this Copa del Rey. We haven't won it in so long. And obviously Barca are taking the league, so at least if all else fails, at least we won a trophy. However, I still believe Madrid are going to win the Champions League as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you even believe. I think you're contractually obligated to say that. But Khanya, Madrid, I think, a very average league season for them. Good to win the cup. One could argue they're not even currently the best team in Madrid right now. How should they be feeling now ahead of the City tie? And I'll ask that question in conjunction with my other one is, how do you think they're feeling now compared to this tie last season, going into a semi-final against Man City?
To be honest with you, I despite what I said in our previous episode, we discussed Madrid and City, I'm more nervous now than I was when we first had the conversation, even having won the trophy. Because I don't actually think we know how to shut teams out anymore. At least we haven't done it in a very, very long time. So I still think we go into Tuesday with all the odds in our favor. we're gonna win that game. I just don't know if we go to the Etihad and keep City out long enough, or kill the game in a way that means that we keep it this way, where we actually go through. I go into this game far more nervous about City than I was this time last year. They look more efficient. They look more clinical, and they look more ready to play a Madrid side like this. Whereas last season, they as well as they played, they looked vulnerable on the counter throughout. The version of City we see now look capable of killing games more, like in a much more effective way than Madrid do.
I think I agree with what you're saying, and I think for me the difference is that in this tie last year, I think City were the best team in England and Madrid were the best team in Spain, and I think that's what made it, as a contest, one that was kind of hard to call, and it was almost kind of fitting that we had the tie that we had. Whereas this time, I think just psychologically, like I said, Madrid aren't even the best team in their city right now, let alone in Spain. Like I just, as much as you've won the cup, and and I just don't think you win this tie off what everyone keeps telling me is that, oh, you can't count out Real Madrid. That's not. I said it before and I'll say it again. You don't do that twice. You can't. This is Madrid your way to another final. I think this City side is a lot more complete. Like you say, I wouldn't even say they've learned from their mistakes. I just think they're more complete, and unlike last year, they have a player on the field where the other team will be concerned about stopping that player, which wasn't true of City teams in seasons before. I think that's the big difference, is that Haaland occupies the mind of the entire Madrid team like no one else. Whereas before there was just you kind of wait and see what City team turns up, and you wait to see what lineup Pep picks. But this time it seems a lot more straightforward. Play like we normally play, get the ball, get chances for Haaland, and he'll put them away. And I just don't know who can stop Haaland on that Madrid team. And I know Rindai in his head is saying, who can stop Vinny on City?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I feel like it's definitely going to be a high scoring tie, bro. Like, I'm not too worried about Haaland because I know Haaland is going to score, and that's okay. You feel me? If Haaland scores 1 or 2 goals, that's fine, as long as we score more. And like you said, I don't necessarily agree that we're in a better position last year than this year, because last year I was hella nervous because all the times we scraped through before City, we scraped through. Sorry, so the PSG tie, PSG should have beat us, bro, and we won. Same thing with the Chelsea tie. First leg we beat them. Second leg they came back. They had the momentum, and then we managed to come back. Whereas this year in the Champions League, I feel like we've been more consistent. Obviously in La Liga, we've been ass, but like in the Champions League, we've been more consistent. I feel
like ass.
Yeah, now we've definitely been ass, right? But like, if you look at it, I feel like the players are more mature now, and I feel like the key now is Camavinga at left back. Like, Camavinga at left back has made room for Vinny, bro. You feel me? Like he's made it easier for Vinny. Vinny's actually got someone behind him who can play on the ball, who can do everything, to be honest, bro. So I don't know. And like, I know Karim hasn't been in great form, but one thing I know about Karim is he's going to show up when it matters. And that's where I feel like the difference is. I don't know if anyone at City will show up at that level, personally. Like, I know Haaland is great and all, but he doesn't scare me as much as Mbappe scared me when we played PSG last season, to be honest.
That's valid. There I can't disagree with you. I think that's what the fear factor, that the point that you raised about fear factor. I just think that what City have now is a player who not they can turn to. I don't think their plan is to turn to Haaland, but like you say, you fancy him to score, and you don't. I like Khanya says, I don't see how Madrid can nullify City. So if you turn it into a scoring match, it's quite hard to outscore City, no, Khanya?
No, and I don't think we should be trying to. But I'm a pessimist when it comes to games like this. In a game like this, I'm setting up fundamentally to stop them and to hit them on the break. If that's how Madrid approached that game, like throughout, I think we win. You like just clog the midfield. There's ways to do it. There are ways. Is that like an insurmountable task? There's lots of quality in the Madrid side, like enough to beat them, but you have to keep it as low scoring as possible. If we get into the firefight bullshit we did the first time when we played them last year, we could get thrashed. We really could.
I definitely agree with you, Khanya. Like, we definitely could get thrashed, right? But at the same time, like, I know City's been great in all the season, but if you look at our squads on paper, right, head to head, you can't say for sure that City has a better squad than Madrid. You feel me? We have the quality to go head to head with them. If you were to choose any team in Europe who has the quality both in your starting 11 and on the bench to go head to head with City, you choose Madrid.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just
I'm just doing a VAR check in my head. I'm just give me a second.
I think for me, dog, the issue is I've watched Madrid perform so poorly in the league this season. Like the sense of confidence I had, it just isn't there.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to convince myself, nah, man, it'll be perfectly fine. But it actually hasn't been fine this entire season. Things have not been fine. I've watched multiple games when I've said, Doug, it's not fine what's happening here. We are not good in the West. We're not easy. We're not easy. Doug, like Atletico Madrid ahead of us. That's obscene. How did we let that happen?
No, but I feel like personally that we gave up because, and we shouldn't have given up, don't get me wrong, but like we gave up because we saw how far Barca were ahead of us, and I feel like we're just like, you know what, let's focus on the Champions League. It's no excuse for the poor performances, but like I feel like
giving up is one thing. Giving up is one thing. Like our results in April alone have been embarrassing, bro. Like losing 3-2 to Villarreal, as good as they've been recently, at home. That's not normal. Losing 4-2 to Girona. Like, I can't excuse those kinds of games. I really can't. I can't make sense of it. Like as much as like Barca have been really good in their own right. Nah? Like they deserve the Liga Champions, yet to be crowned especially, but they deserve 100%. It does concern me that we gave it to them in the way we did, and we gave it to them because we let in so many goals. And coming up against the person who's probably going to win the Golden Boot isn't really what you want when you are this porous defensively. Like there is no team worse for us to play than City. That is by far the most dangerous side. Like if we beat City, we're winning this. Like Madrid are going to win the Champions League. But dog, I don't know.
Yeah,
the faith you have, dog, I'm jealous. I wish. Dog.
I just wanted to touch on the point that Tom made as well about like saying that he's not buying like the whole heritage thing and whatnot. But bro, you don't have to buy it. It's a real thing, bro. You don't have to buy it.
Like, it is.
No one needs
100%.
to sell that to you. And sorry. And like people forget that we three-peated, bro. And when we three-peated, no one had even said a back-to-back before us, right? So if anyone is to say a back-to-back, it's us.
But that's what I'm saying. We've seen it before. That's the thing. Like I've bought into the whole Madrid. This is Madrid thing. Like I've bought into it, and what I can't do now is believe that it's going to happen again. I cannot. I can't sit here and say that they're going to whip it out the bag like they, because let's not forget, right? City played better than Madrid both times, right? Does anyone disagree with that?
No.
Last season. Right? So, and City had Madrid on the ropes. And I remember, I think it was Grealish and Foden who should have scored at the Bernabeu. And that tie was dead, right? We're talking about chances not being taken. Like, Madrid are not going to outperform City over these two legs. So if we're talking about City have to finish the chances they create, I back them to do that more than I back Madrid to pull something out of the hat. I think Madrid can pull something out of the hat. But if I'm a betting man, which thank God I'm not, but if I'm a betting man, I'm putting my coins on black. Black being City just have to score the chances they make. Because yes, maybe they might not thrash, but if you're talking about winning a game 1-0, 2-1, three chances, I know who I want my three chances to fall to between Benzema and Haaland, right? Not saying Benzema won't finish them, but I know if you create chances in each tie, I think City will score more. That's it. And I think you turn it into okay, now we have to score more than City, and they won't allow that to happen this time. I don't think this will be a 6-5 tie like last season. Was it 6-5? I think it was 6-5. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I it's not that I don't believe in this is Madrid. It's not that I don't believe in the heritage. I think that you used it all last season, like a bar in a game. Like you used your XP. Now you have to build it up again. You have to go through trials and tribulations.
Fair enough.
You're nervous about the Etihad, which kind of speaks to my prediction. I think I've seen this tie before play out in my head. And if anyone's listening, just take some notes. So I think it's going to be 1-1 tomorrow at the Bernabeu, and then City definitely get the job done at the Etihad, perhaps 2-0. But yeah, definitely tomorrow, just a 1-1. Who's scoring? Who's scoring then? Who's scoring in the 2-1 and the 3-1? Who's scoring?
I think. Okay.
I'm saying there's a goal from a corner. So one of the centre backs, Rudiger, and then one of Ben's Vinicius. It's not hard for Madrid to score, boy. It's not. We're not like you guys where we have to wonder how the fuck do you score against these guys. We'll score. We're capable of scoring.
Oh, you guys means United, the team that's actually beaten City. You guys should go back and watch that game and take notes, please.
What where you score goals like by a very questionable side goals that game.
That's the sort of luck you guys are gonna need. But anyways, I'm not gonna twerk for City right now on the pod. We'll switch it over to the other Champions League tie that's taking place this week. Milan derby, obviously a big one. Two Milanistas on the pod. So I'll start with you, Khanya. I know last time we both picked Milan to go to the final. Anything changed for you?
No, same thing. I think that's where a lot of our hope lies right now. That's the big thing in Milan season. That is a Champions League semi-finals play. I'm nervous about no Leao for the first leg. That does concern me slightly, but the fact that we won over the weekend without him, I'm trusting Dale to carry that flank by himself and everyone else to try and step up. But it won't be easy. But I think we still make it through the tie. I'm not sure about the predictions for this first leg though. I won't lie to you.
And Rindai, I know you backed Lukaku to score in the tie. Any predictions on your side?
I think it's going to be a draw. I think the tie is definitely going to go down to fine margins. I'm predicting 1-1 for the game tomorrow. But to be honest, I'm not too invested in that tie because I know they're going to lose to whoever comes out of the Madrid City tie anyway. So yeah.
Okay, but who do you want to go through?
Who do I want to go through? I'll say AC. I feel like, because I want Madrid to go to the final, I feel like that would be a very historic Champions League final. So yeah, Milan for sure.
Okay, well, let's see. I know we got a crack in the Champions League. Champions League never disappoints. That's one thing about the Champions League is that when it reaches this stage of the season, it never disappoints. We do have some other European football to tie up. We also have obviously the Europa League taking place this week. Roma versus Leverkusen. I'll open that one up to the floor. Leverkusen obviously surprising a few this season, and Roma. I know there's a few Jose faithfuls on the pod and listening to the pod. Anyone fancy anyone there? I'm not really interested, to be honest. But Roma, Leverkusen, any takers?
Yeah, personally, I'm not too interested as well. But I'm backing my boy Mourinho to take it all.
Take the whole thing.
The whole thing, my boy.
Khanya?
Mate, Mourinho is again. I think your beef with heritage is really holding you back from a lot of your takes. The person I expect, the person with the most European pedigree outside of Sevilla,
there we go.
Left in this competition.
Is Jose Mourinho. You've just hit my point on the head. I can't look away from Sevilla. I think Sevilla are going to cause Juventus. Sorry, now this is now the other time. I think Sevilla are going to cause Juventus all sorts of problems. They've after beating United, they've now turned into one of Europe's most formidable sides. A team that you could not count out. A team that loves scoring a late goal. So in terms of Juve Sevilla, I think Juve need to watch out because playing at home in the first leg, Sevilla, you know what they do. You know exactly how they'll play, and they just set you up for that second leg. So that's a tie that I'll have my eye on. Your thoughts, Rindai? Juventus Sevilla?
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game. I do think Sevilla are the better team right now, even though Juve won this weekend. Big win. But yeah, I think a Sevilla-Roma final would be dope.
Okay. So nothing for the resurgent Paul Pogba and what he's doing for himself there. Finally back in the side. They're making comps for him now. No one thinks he's doing anything. Doesn't matter. There's nothing we're gonna see from Paul Pogba like this week.
Making comps is a stretch. I think.
They're making comps.
They're making highlight reels of his two skill moves.
I've seen comps from Paul Pogba in the past week. He's back. Pog back again.
And then just to wrap up our coverage of Europe, we've got the Conference League. We've got AZ Alkmaar against West Ham. West Ham, very unserious in the Premier League for a long time, but have managed to put together a very good cup run. Anyone who doesn't fancy them to go to the final?
I have to think they will. I have to think they'll make it, purely because I have a serious issue when it comes to respecting Dutch sides in general. I don't know how West Ham don't do that. That should be what gets Moyes sacked if he doesn't make it at least to the final.
When sacked, like now with it, or like at the end of the season?
Immediately. If he doesn't get West Ham to the Conference League final, they should let him know that today, brother, thank you for what you've done. We will be moving on.
Fair enough. And I think a bit of a shot in the dark here. Fiorentina versus Basel. I'm obviously linked to Basel with my illustrious history on FIFA 12 career mode. I did actually discover Mo Salah. Fiorentina, Basel, Rindai, if you had to pick one.
Now this would just be a wild prediction, to be honest, but I'd go Fiorentina.
I'm picking Basel. I've seen Fiorentina put in some abysmal performances this season. I don't trust those boys for shit. I wouldn't expect them to beat Southampton right now if you've told them this is the game for your lives. They are an unreliable team. They are caught in between. I don't even know what. They just do not inspire confidence for me. I can't back them in any setting. I've got Basel winning that on penalties. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I want Fiorentina to shock me. But a team that hires Luka Jovic after the past 2 years he's had says to me that's a team that doesn't have ideas, that don't know who they are. And I think that will show itself. And I really do. I hope they get thrashed. I have a serious disliking for how they've shown themselves this season.
Well, the good news is that we can come back in a week's time and reflect on all the first leg results. Gents, I think this has been a good one.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Thanks for hosting us, sir. And with that being said, lads, it's been a great episode of Base Never Die. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you next time.
Cheers.